I'm the one being punished. He's not getting in trouble with the police. He didn't lose his job if he has one. Like, what's going on with him? Why am I getting fired? Why are my videos getting taken down? And why am I getting strikes? Like, I'm about to lose my account. I was assaulted. I'm the victim. I lost my job. I'm the victim. Right?
Olivia Henderson, better known on the internet as the TikTok DoorDash girl or just the DoorDash girl, and who is probably the poster girl for the downsides of victim mentality, recently saw some interesting movements of her case in the criminal judicial system in New York. Specifically, her case got transferred from Oswego City Court to Oswego County Court. This news comes from YouTuber turned courtroom journalist Atozi, who flew out to Oswego for this latest hearing. And the thing is, there were apparently people out there who were expecting to hear that this case got closed out with some kind of an early plea deal. But by the looks of it, DoorDash Girl has instead either been indicted by a grand jury or she's waived her indictment. And at any rate, she is headed towards trial. And this means things could be getting much worse for her. Maybe, maybe not, but at the very least, this doesn't look like it's going to be going away anytime soon. And depending on what happens next, we could get an indication from the prosecutor which way they might be inclined to go in this case, towards a plea deal or towards trial. Let's get into it. Olivia Henderson, also known as DoorDash Girl or the TikTok DoorDash Girl, made waves when she posted a video of a man sleeping on his couch unclothed from the waist down. She said she was dropping off a DoorDash delivery to his house and was claiming that by seeing him on his own couch there in his own house, she was being sexually assaulted by him. She claimed the door was wide open, but then reports came out later saying that the door actually was closed, or at least mostly closed, and that she pushed it open to start recording the man who was apparently sleeping. Anyway, the video went viral before DoorDash deactivated her account and before TikTok took the video down from her account twice and gave her strikes both times. And then a month later, she was arrested for 2 felony charges. One for an unlawful surveillance by recording him in his own home without his consent while he was unclothed, and one for uploading that unlawful surveillance recording onto the internet. And in the meantime, she made all kinds of statements that can definitely be seen as incriminating her and generally making the defense of her case much, much harder.
Like, this is the only justice I'm getting, is exposing this man and having posted that video and it has gone viral. Like, now he can live with shame and embarrassment if people have seen it and knows who he is or where he, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one being punished. He's not getting in trouble with the police. He didn't lose his job if he has one. Like, what's going on with him? Why am I getting fired? Why are my videos getting taken down and why am I getting strikes? Like, I'm about to lose my account. I was assaulted. I'm the victim. I lost my job. I'm the victim. Right? Is this making sense?
If you need to see more details on the background of this case, I highly recommend you check out the playlist linked in the description below. Otherwise, let's continue talking about what has happened in this case since then, and especially most recently. In December 2025, she made her first appearance at her arraignment. Cameras from the local news were there in the courtroom since the public has taken such an interest in this case given all of the social media outcry. Now, I didn't mention this in my last video on it, and I probably should have, but apparently at that hearing, DoorDash Girl's attorney made some kind of a complaint about the cameras in the courtroom, and the judge basically turned into Alanis Morissette and was like,
"And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like rain on your wedding day."
I mean, maybe it was more along the lines of like, oh, so now you care about cameras in the courtroom. Cool. Well, guess what? IDGAF. Anyway, then there was a hearing scheduled for this past week, and apparently local news wasn't really interested in capturing this hearing. And that's probably because they figured that there wouldn't be all that much to see this time around. However, someone who was there was Atozi, who flew out to Oswego specifically for this hearing. He's recently started doing these courtroom updates for criminal cases against annoying social media influencers like Johnny Somali in Korea. Yes, he's flown multiple times out to Korea for the hearings in that case, and more recently, Jack Doherty in Florida. And so I guess he also decided to go and get updates about DoorDash Girl as well. And it's great. I love it. It's like he's there as your average layperson and just learning about the judicial system along the way. And I always say that the more eyes we have on our judicial system and the more we have people learning about it, the better. That's one of the reasons why I do what I do, after all. Anyway, so the main thing that came out of this hearing, which otherwise was apparently very uneventful, is that Atozi learned that DoorDash Girl's case got transferred from city court to county court.
to the clerk, I talked to them, and I'm thinking, okay, there's a continuation that happened. Instead, I found out this was divested to county court. So originally, where we're at, this building right here, this is the city court. So city court, I mean, this is kind of like small fines. So all the people that went up and had their cases done today, they were paying anywhere from like $25 to up to $200 in fines. This was like very small stuff. But hers was divested to county court. So as I said, originally she was in city court, but now county court, that's the main state court.
So let's talk about what that means. So most jurisdictions, like New York, work like this. You have an arrest, and then all initial appearances will happen through some municipal or city court. And then at some point, there's a distinction made between cases that involve felonies and cases that involve misdemeanors. In New York, criminal cases that only involve misdemeanors might stay in city court all the way through trial if they get that far. But city courts actually don't have jurisdiction to try felonies. So if a felony case goes beyond its arraignment and then it sees some kind of an indictment following that, it typically will get transferred to county court. This is pretty par for the course, but it does mean that prosecutors didn't do something like initially charge her with felonies and then like immediately reduce those felonies to misdemeanor charges. It also means that the case hasn't been dismissed or withdrawn and that the two sides haven't entered into any kind of a plea agreement at this point. So now, one thing that happens before this transfer is that the prosecution either secures an indictment through a grand jury or they file what's called a Superior Court Information, or SCI. An SCI is basically a document that gets filed by the prosecution that goes through the facts and allegations of the case, and in order to go this route, the defendant actually has to waive the grand jury indictment. But either way, in order for a case to be transferred from city court to county court, like DoorDash Girls apparently has been, there has to be either a grand jury indictment that happened or an SCI that was filed. So that would mean that for DoorDash Girls' case, one of these things has now happened at this point. Now, looking up her case, I actually can't find anything in the system at all. If you look back at what the city court docket looked like a month ago, you could see all this information about the case, the charges, the incident, the attorney information, etc. But now, if you go back to the same page, everything is vacant other than her name and the case number. And if you do a search in county court for her case, nothing comes up. And this is all most likely because her case is just getting processed in county court. And so records-wise, it's basically in this like limbo or purgatory between these two systems. But one thing that will be very interesting to see when her case eventually does get populated in the county court system is whether this case is proceeding under an SCI or under a grand jury indictment. You see, when an indictment is secured by a grand jury, this means the prosecution was able to put all of their allegations to a big panel of people from the community and ask them if they thought this was a case that should go to trial. Now, obviously, grand jury indictments are notoriously easy to get, and that's partly because the defense doesn't play any role at all in this hearing. So the grand jury doesn't actually hear the defense's side at all. And there's the whole saying that you can indict a ham sandwich after all. But for the prosecution, going through that whole process can almost serve as a nice dry run to see how potential jurors might react to certain parts of their case. But it also is work to put on a grand jury hearing that they might not want to do if they already figure that they don't really want to take the case to trial. And so the reason why it'll be interesting to see if they went through a grand jury indictment versus filing an SCI is because it can be an indication of just how aggressive this prosecution wants to be in this particular case. Are they more interested in just securing a plea deal so that they can go and focus on other cases? Or do they want to pursue this all the way to trial, perhaps to send a message to the public that is very interested in this case that they're taking this very seriously? And are they maybe looking to even make an example out of her in today's viral digital age? So I, for one, will be very curious to see what this looks like in the coming days and weeks, because it might actually help us look into our crystal ball and see where this case might go. But those are my thoughts. What do you think? Do you think the prosecution might go hard in the paint against DoorDash Girl, considering the egregiousness and the virality of what she did? Or do you think that they might just give her a slap on the wrist because she's young and she's a first-time offender? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this, or at least found it interesting or informative. And if you did, I would love it if you would hit the like button. It does help us with the YouTube algorithm gods. And if you're new here and you want to see more coverage of crazy cases and interesting legal topics, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can find out when the next video is out there. And if you're really enjoying the content, consider becoming a member of Byte Club. You can join either through YouTube memberships or by becoming a supporter on Patreon. Links to both are in the description below. Otherwise, see you in the next one.